I want you to imagine a monster, but not a monster with teeth or claws. I want you to imagine a monster that is microscopic. If you shoot it, it doesn't die. If you boil it in water, it doesn't die. If you blast it with heavy radiation, it doesn't die. If you soak it in formaldehyde, it doesn't die. In fact, you cannot kill this monster because it isn't alive. It has no DNA. It has no brain. It has no goal. It is just a shape. And if it touches you, you are already dead. This is a prion, and it is the most terrifying thing in biology. To understand why prion are scary, we have to look at how your body is built. Your body is a machine made of proteins. Proteins are long chains of molecules that fold into specific shapes, like origami. If the protein folds into shape A, it becomes a muscle. If it folds into shape B, it becomes an enzyme that helps you digest food. The shape is everything. But sometimes, the origami goes wrong. A prion is a protein in your brain that has folded into a jagged, incorrect shape. By itself, one jagged protein isn't a problem. Your body usually cleans it up. But a prion has a nightmare superpower. When a prion touches a normal, healthy protein, it forces the healthy protein to snap into the jagged prion shape. It doesn't reproduce like a virus. It converts. 1 becomes 2, 2 become 4, 4 become 8. It is a biological domino effect. This happens inside your brain. Slowly, silently, the prion convert your healthy brain tissue into useless, jagged clumps. They punch holes in your brain cells. If you looked at the brain of a prion victim under a microscope, it looks like a sponge. It is full of empty holes where the mind used to be. This creates diseases like mad cow disease and chronic wasting disease. The victim loses their memory. Then they lose their ability to walk. Then they lose their ability to swallow. And finally, 100% of the time, they die. There is no cure. There is no treatment. Once the first domino falls, the game is over. But the scariest prion disease is called Fatal Familial Insomnia. In this version, the prion attack the thalamus, the part of the brain that controls sleep. One day, you wake up and you feel a little tired, but you can't fall back asleep. The next night, you toss and turn. The next night, still no sleep. Sleeping pills don't work. Anesthesia doesn't work. Your brain has physically lost the ability to turn off. You stay awake for months. You start to hallucinate. Your body breaks down. And eventually, you die from exhaustion. It is a real-life nightmare where you are trapped in a waking coma. So, how do you catch a prion? That's the bad news. You can catch it by eating infected meat. But you can also catch it from surgical tools. Because prion are not alive, normal sterilization doesn't work. You can put a surgical knife in an autoclave at 250 degrees, and the prion will survive on the metal. If that knife touches your brain, the chain reaction begins. In fact, there are cases where people caught prion from medical equipment that had been cleaned perfectly by hospital standards. And here is the final horror. Prion have a long incubation period. A virus makes you sick in a week. A prion can hide in your brain for 10, 20, or even 40 years before it starts the chain reaction. You could have eaten a bad hamburger in the year 1990, and the first domino might not fall until 2030. Right now, as you sit there, the proteins in your brain are folding billions of times a second. We just have to hope that they keep folding the right way. Because if just one of them folds wrong, the countdown begins. I am your host. Sweet dreams. Subscribe.